go come down after EB say we remove subsidy. Precedent is saying and say food prices will not return to what they used to be before subsidy removal. So please just enjoy here. Life can be like that sometimes. Because these are the hot topics that we have. I will begin to dissect these conversations one at a time. So the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, LP, in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has reacted after former military president of Nigeria, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, retired, admitted the late Chief MKO Abiola was the winner of the June 12, 1993 elections. IBB made the admission during the launch of his autobiography, A Journey in Service, yesterday, Thursday. Now, the incident of history is most regrettable. The nation is entitled to expect my impression of regret. Of regret. Okay, he did say quite a lot about that anyway. But Peter Obi has now reacted to it and said that, I hope that one day other key players in Nigeria's democracy will find the courage to recognize the true winners of past elections that maybe they conducted or maybe they spearheaded or maybe that got them winning or did not get them winning falsely or rightly. I think that's what he was insinuating. Yeah, he didn't put that part. Now, allowing our nation to tell its story with honesty and reflection. Joining me in the studio is Mr. Ekene Obi. And Mr. Ekene Obi, thank you so immensely for joining me this evening. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And I also have Prince Francis Chilaka joining us in the studio. Prince Francis, thank you, sir, for joining us.
You're welcome, ma.
And Barrister Asim Adams is with us in the studio. Barrister, thank you so much for joining us. Anytime I call you, I just smile.
Me too. It's a pleasure always.
Thank you so much, sir. So let me take on you on what Peter Obi said, in the election. Do you think he was speaking to a particular election? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, you think so? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. What election?
It's very obvious. The 2023 election. Yeah, because it's almost like what happened to Abiola's own case, has pushed him to want to make bold declaration. Yes, in referring to that 2023 election. It was obvious, but the court and the system said what they said, and then they determined who the election winner was. He had to rest. But it's akin to that same situation, even though it wasn't exactly the same, but he felt that, he was wrongfully denied.
All right, Prince Francis Chilaka, you want to comment there quickly? IBB did reveal quite a lot of things in that book.
Please, precious. Don't insult us this evening.
Sorry, sir.
Don't insult us this evening.
Sorry,
I don't want to get upset.
I surrender, sir.
Because I'm really ashamed of IBB. Yes, as a Nigerian, I am ashamed of him. It took him 32 years, so to say, to come out and tell Nigerians the magic, the Maradonic behavior he has exemplified to Nigerians in June 1999, isn't it? So what are we talking about? What is so good about what IBB has written? Trash, nothing. He has not written any. He has not made an impact on history. That's the truth. So let us forget. You saw the people that gathered there. You saw the people that gathered at the book launch.
Did you see the money they donated?
Did you see any ordinary Nigerian that suffered June 12 in that place? Did you see one person? Did you see the poor people that our leaders are meant to take care of in that place? You didn't. He just gathered people he helped in when he was a military head of state. The business people who made money through him. Those are the people he gathered. And they came back to pay allegiance and donate the money back to him. And that is what played out. No. See, we keep rejoicing over nothing in this country. We keep allowing those who deny us good life, who deny us good health, who deny us all the good things of life, to keep taking advantage of us. They keep raping us, with impunity. And what do? We rejoice, we're happy. See how people were clapping for a former dictator yesterday. Men and women, I thought, had common sense, gathered and clapping for a former dictator. And then you tell me we're practicing democracy. We're just a laughing stock.
All right.
What P2B is saying, like Kenneth said, P2B is telling directly, it's not indirectly, he's directly telling your current president that one day, maybe after 50 years, somebody will come out and tell us. Maybe that is when the INEC chairman will come out and tell us that this election was won by this man, but we played some magic, glitches happened, and we decided to do it the other way around.
But
in a sane society, with the book and all the utterances of IBB, he should have been arrested and tried. Don't forget that this same IBB was invited by Oputa panel. IBB, Buhari, Abu Salam, who goes about praying for Nigeria. He was invited by Oputa panel. Did he show up? Buhari, that wasted 8 years of Nigeria's life, was invited by Oputa panel. You've forgotten that part of the recommendations of that panel was that the likes of IBB, Abu Salam, and Buhari should not hold political office in Nigeria, ever. But that report never saw the light of day. Yes.
And then Buhari
he never saw the light of day.
Way.
So let us, Oputa panel was set up to allow for people to express themselves. We tried to copy what they did in South Africa.
And maybe Rwanda?
Good. For reconciliation.
The Truth and Reconciliation
Committee. But it never worked in Nigeria. Because we'd never allowed it to work. And yet, he's coming out to tell me this man won the election. Abacha was responsible. Oh my God. Abacha is gone. Humphrey Mosi is gone. Who again? Almost all the main actors are gone. So now, how do we cross-check what he has said? So it's only his own word against himself, nothing else.
All right.
So make we leave matter.
Barrister Adams, would it have been constitutional if for anyone to call or question the military head of state, Babangida, over this confession?
Now, as it is, you cannot begin to say you want to bring an action against Babangida. So more than 30 years now.
But is it more than 30 years he's confessing to what happened?
That's right. Except you can show that during his regime, he committed crimes against humanity. That is what the law says. That is why you see people that support Hitler in those days, even though they are 80, 90 years or 100 years, once they are caught, they are made to face trial. If they participated in what is referred to as crime against humanity, there may be genocide, etc. For me, IBB belongs to the dark side of history, political history in Nigeria. Because when you look at what IBB did or what happened during his regime, I'll be very shocked. I was shocked when I saw so-called Democrats, going for that book launch yesterday. The military generals who were his friends, who perpetuated the same crimes, economic, political crimes against Nigeria, could have gone to, felicitate with him. But there are people who call Democrats who said they believe in democracy. It was during their time they said that the worst civilian government was better than a military dictatorship. I saw them there yesterday, hobnobbing with him and even contributing and making money for him to do what. But you call those same people to come and help a lady in Lut that has cancer, that needs just about 5 million naira for chemotherapy, etc., for cure. You will not see them. But yesterday, within 30 minutes, they donated about 20 billion naira. That tells you that Nigeria has a long way to go. Now, periscoping IBB, what I found out is that it goes back to what Chinua Achebe, said in Things Fall Apart. He said the story of hunting between the hunter and the lion will not be complete until the lion has a historian who will give it his own history. Otherwise, the hunter will go about boasting how he defeated and how he killed lion, but the lion is no longer there. Most of the people that IBB insinuated forced him to commit those atrocities, economic crimes against Nigeria, genocidal crimes against Nigeria, political crimes against Nigeria, were all dead. The major actor, he said it was Abacha that said, so you now ask yourself the question, why did IBB have to wait till Abacha died? Why did they have to wait till Professor Omar Moriju died? Why did they have to wait till Humphrey Nwosu died? I am still asking that question. And two is that even as he was there, they were celebrating yesterday. None of them could even remind IBB that the family of MKO Abiola that he dismembered are still alive today listening to him. During IBB and Abacha's regimes, a particular man who was considered as one of the richest men in Africa, his wealth, political empire, his life, everything was brought to shambles. I said this, that if MKO Abiola were to be alive today, whether he was made president or not, even though he won the election, I am telling you that a lot of his businesses would have still been very, very much alive, helping Nigerians. Some of Abiola's companies employ thousands of people. Many of us benefited from the scholarship of MKO Abiola. Abiola was somebody that we saw as a pan-Nigerian man, politician.
But a lot accused him of also being part of the same
It
group
doesn't.
of
That
people
is,
who
you see, that is a cabal, a clique.
Oh,
You
so he's
understand?
still part of the cabal and cliques.
Yeah, the clique. You see, what we talk about in democracy, if the majority says this is what is going to happen, the minority can have their say.
So he was just picked out from the cabal.
The cabal were saying that is not supposed to be there. But we, the majority, felt and saw him as different. We can even say it's a kind of Robin Hood who wanted power to get and trickle down to the less privileged. Abiola can go and hobnob with the clique and cabal who are rich in Nigeria, but today when he left them, he comes back to the society and begin to look for the well-being of the Nigerian people.
All right, so Barrister Dan, let me take you quick on another issue very quickly. So it's been very difficult again for the families, or it was very difficult for the families of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to have access to his lawyers, or his lawyers and families to have access to him. You recall that sometime last year, I think within around October, November, thereabouts, for almost 2 months, they were unable to have access to him. And recently, again, that same issue continued. On Wednesday, his lead counsel, MKO, complained and said, again, we've been denied access to see him. But luckily, today, they've been granted access to see him again. Many think it's payback for his outburst during the last court session. But what is the most legal thing to have been done in this situation for somebody who is under custody? Should they have access, right to see their family and, lawyers at will? Or is DSS doing the right thing? Many will want to know, because the purpose of this is to educate Nigerians.
You see, under our constitution, Section 35 talks about liberty of the Nigerian man. When you are arrested, your liberty is curtailed. That is freedom of movement, etc. That is why when you are kept in the cell, you cannot come out, or you are in ATM, as we call it in Nigeria here, you cannot come out. That is the only particular, instance that you cannot come out. But all other rights accruing to a Nigerian citizen accrue to anybody that is in detention that has not been convicted of a particular crime. And that is number one. the right to freedom of his thought, the right to freedom to have access to medical, legal services. You cannot take that away from him. It is sacrosanct, very intrinsic in law that these particular rights are embedded in every detained citizen. The Nigerian Constitution, Section 35, enunciates this and encapsulates this particular, thing we're talking about. The African, Charter on Human Rights, the United Nations Charter on Human Rights and Detention of People, encapsulate that you must be given these rights. The right to, have access to your lawyers, the right to have medical attention. It cannot be guarded. It cannot be denied. There are no provisos. There are no limitations to those rights. The other fulcrum on which these rights rest is Section 36 of 5, which is the principle and cardinal principle of presumption of innocence. So even if a man is accused of murder, a man is accused of the highest crime in the land, treason, is innocent until his accusers prove otherwise. Now, if you have this basic, cubicle of section on human rights, then no government, no authority, no institution under our constitution can deny you those rights. Now, coming to say whether it was the outcry, of course, when your rights are denied, you have the right to cry out. And I'm very happy that the lawyers were proactive and they cried out. But we do not want this to be a one-time instance thing that maybe, because of the outcry and whatever, they have allowed him access to it. It should be a continuous thing. Nnamdi Kanu has access to every other thing that you and I are having in this studio. The only thing he does not have the access to is that freedom of movement. So he cannot move out.
Oh, wow, really?
That is it, because it's kept in detention by the law. That is what the Constitution says. So you can limit my freedom by keeping me here until, justice is, gotten. Even if you go to the Constitution, 36 of 6 says that, yes, you have the right to detain and keep a man, but the trial of that particular man must be done. Let me use the word hurry. You must quickly do it so that the man will know his fate. So, but the Nigerian government has already breached 36.6, 36.5, and 35.5, as the case may be. The liberty of Nnamdi Kanu is still there. The liberty as a human being, and that liberty to change his clothes, the liberty to eat his kind of food he wants to eat, the liberty to take his bait, the liberty for him to have access to his family, to visit him in prison or wherever they keep him. He has that liberty to also read newspapers and know exactly what is happening in the outside world. Like I said, the only liberty that is, the only right that is curtailed and limited is the right of freedom to move from outside of the detention camp to maybe the center of Abuja or maybe the center of Lagos to go and have a drink, as the case may be. But all other rights, as espoused and espoused in Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution, are allotted to Nnamdi Kanu. Section 30, 33, 31, 32. All those rights are there. So, but the most important is that denial that is given to him. That is very wrong.
So that means it's illegal for the DSS to deny him access to his lawyers.
Absolutely, obtusely illegal. Not just for Nnamdi Kanu, but for every detained Nigerian citizen. Let me tell you, even those that have been convicted, they have right to medical care. Those that have been convicted have right to even see their family, to see them and come to the prison to see them. Those that have been convicted have right to good feeding. Those that have been convicted have right to breathe the Nigerian air of freedom within their prison. Yeah, but that's case, baby. So if the DSS can cocoon and make him koto because they want to harangue him in this particular, mode, it is so unwholesome and uncharitable. His rights have been breached. And if Nigeria were to be a country that practices constitutional democracy, I dare say that Nnamdi Kanu, even though he's been detained, has the right to approach the courts of the land to make a declaration that what has happened to him, is against his rights. And we're moving there. Finally, let me just give you something that is people blame the judiciary on a daily basis. But many do not understand that the Supreme Court made a landmark decision some days ago. Before now, if you get a judgment against any government agency, police, custom, etc., they say pay 10 million. Nnamdi Kanu was awarded 2 billion. Sunday Igboho was awarded another 2 billion by a court of competent jurisdiction established by the Constitution. Now, to execute that particular 2 million, if you go to Supreme Court and say pay the man, you cannot execute it.
Why?
Because under Section 84 of the Sheriff and Civil Processes Act of Nigeria, it says that the Attorney General of Federation Nigeria, you must have to apply to him and go through him, and he's the one that will give the Central Bank of Nigeria to release those particular whatever. But just recently, the Supreme Court declared Sections 84 SCPA Act as illegal, incongruent, void, ab initio, against and repugnant to equity and natural justice, and infracts on Section 1, Section 3, Section 6, and Section 287 of the 1999 Constitution. Therefore, if you have an execution to levy, you do not even need the permission of the AG right now to levy it against. That is how democracy works. But they will not ululate the judiciary for this landmark judgment. But for lawyers who practice, we know it's a great one. But if it were to be a political decision, the whole country will be agog. So this is the problem we have in a democracy. So let us keep testing the law. Let us keep testing the law.
So right now, if police perhaps harasses me and I take them to court, and the court asks that they pay me fine, I can collect my fine now.
Absolutely, that is there.
So let's quickly
it was delivered by Ogumo Yujidas Morukeji. Ogumo, he read the lead judgment of Supreme Court. It's not a moi or beans and akara that will buy some. This is the Supreme Court under Section 287 sub 1. That is the prevailing and the current law. So it's not left for you to execute. So I'm saying this because Nnamdi Kanu now, people might think that what DSS doing to Nnamdi Kanu is wrong. And we must have to come out to police and say it to them. Not just him.
But the DSS may claim that they represent, they are answerable to the president.
They are not answerable.
And if the president hasn't given a nod, should they react? I've had a DSS boss here who had said, a former DSS boss here, who had said that ordinarily, that the way the DSS is constituted, they are supposed to more like, take commands from the president, basically.
Yes.
So if there's a court judgment, that they cannot willingly, on their own, based on that court judgment, execute without getting a nod from the president. We've heard that here on this show.
You see, the nod you are talking about from the president, the Supreme Court also has informed all security agencies in Nigeria in a landmark case they call Adegboyega Ibikunle against the state, where Justice Onoegan, as he then was disgraced out of office, posited and postulated, has not been set aside. He said for every military officer in Nigeria, be you DSS, be you whoever you are, you have 2 laws that you have to obey. The first one is your commander. Whoever, president is commander-in-chief, Abi. You have the first law of the commander to obey. And
the commander-in-chief, the commander obeys the commander-in-chief.
They said you have the law, you obey your commander, he gives you that particular order. Then you have the other law, which is the civil law, the constitution, that you have to do what? Obey. And he went further to say, but if your commander's order and that of the constitutional clash, in this case, who are you to obey? You have to obey the civil law, otherwise you go to prison. So whatever that DSS man said, The commander-in-chief, he has it, but the constitution says that the people made the constitution. The constitution was not made by the President Buhari. It was not made by President Tinubu, even though we know the constitution is fraudulent with minefields. It was not made by them. The Supremo Uno is the number one people that we have in Nigeria. So he was just saying that he was, trying to sanctimonize so that he does not get,
thank you, sir,
opprobrium and get sacked. But if you look at the theory of the social contradiction, as case may be, and what is practiced in the constitutional democracy, the people have the voice, and the constitution is what a DSS ought to obey.
All right, so very quickly, let's take a look at a bit update on what played out before the floor of the Senate yesterday. As the Senate spokesperson Yemi Aderamodu has criticized Kogi Central Senator Natasha over a dispute concerning her seating arrangement in the chamber. Akpoti Uduang, who represented Kogi Central under the People's Democratic Party, had on Thursday refused to use the seat assigned to her, citing Order 10 of the Senate Standing Rules, which protects members' privileges. Now, this dispute arose after Akpoti. Well, we'll know the drama that played out. In defiance, So speaking to Channels Television Sunrise Daily today, Aderemola said that the Senate was not a platform for entertainment or content creation. He says what we are saying is the National Assembly is not for content creation or entertainment. National Assembly is for serious business, he said. So addressing or berating Odoang's reaction. However, Natasha has also reacted to what played out. She did react to the fact that it was born out of a prolonged issue she's had with the Senate President, where he's maligned, he's sidelined, he's harassed her, she's been maligned, harassed and sidelined in the Senate, not naming anybody precisely, in that conversation. And she did say quite a lot of other things. In fact, she said that, what we watched in the footages was when, a particular senator was calling an order and then her outburst. But she said that at that point, they were raising an impeachment order against her. So she had to raise that Order 10 to, exonerate herself that she has the right to speak. Now, let's quickly take a listen to part of her response. And then I perhaps would also, maybe for those on YouTube will watch, we can also play something that had happened earlier in the 8th Senate with Saraki, where the Senate President, the now Senate President Akpabio, had a similar issue with Saraki, but he was not suspended. But let's quickly take a listen to her reaction, because she did react on Brekete Family TV this afternoon to the conversation. Take a listen. I do hope I can.
Ordinary President, thank you so much for calling me. My attention was drawn that you were actually speaking about the issue on your program today. So thank you so much for your concern. Thank you so much for calling me. My attention was drawn that you were actually speaking about the issue on your program today. So thank you so much for your concern. But the thing is, there are certain rules in the chambers that whatever I speak of in the Senate can't be used against me. That means I can't be sued.
But outside,
if I make any utterances, considering the fact that I am facing a lot of harassment, I have been going through a lot, and I have remained quiet because I didn't want to be interpreted wrongly. I didn't want any lawsuits against me. I just wanted to be given a chance to work. A lot of my privileges have been denied. I've been pulled out from many international activities that I was part of. That is right after that whole nightclub incident that happened last year.
Yes.
Ever since then, I have been there was even a United Nations event I was supposed to attend, which the UN nominated me for, but my name was struck out that they will not promote me in any activity internationally. Okay. So every event I have been going for since last year have been self-sponsored. Whenever I feel an international event is of importance to my constituents, to Nigerian women, to Nigeria, I buy my tickets myself. and I fund my trips myself. I just don't speak about it. So I have been going through a lot. So yesterday was just that changing my seat was more of a chance of silencing me or alienating me from being seen. You know, seating arrangements is very critical. Like when the nearer you sit, you know, positions you closer before the camera and gives you an added advantage to be called upon to contribute to the bits. But the seat I was now, ordinarily, I'm already sitting at the very back. If you see me, I'm sitting actually at the last seat just before the door. But then I was now moved suddenly without notice, without any information. My seat was moved to the far corner, a part where the cameras don't capture. Like if you sit over there, the cameras you won't even be captured. Nobody will even, except maybe they zoom out and they get to see you there. You will just easily be missing out. You can raise your hands up and nobody will call you. So that is why I said no. I don't want to move to that seat. I wasn't notified. You understand? This is not a classroom. You can't just push me around. And there are other senators. There are 109 of us. Why is it me? Why do I have to move there? Why me? Just 2 weeks ago, I was removed from a committee from local content. I was moved from there because some people perceived that I was using that office to divert resources from the Niger Delta to the north. And that was not it. We have the Jakarta-Kaduna Kano pipeline, which is going to be completed by the second quarter of this year, and we need feed gas for that. And the wake of, you know, Nigeria is now positioning itself to be more productive, industrialization is picking up. So the factories up north, like other parts of Nigeria, we need greater electricity supply. And now we have CNG cars, vehicles being converted to CNG.
The Senate president, he did peak initially when told he was live on air and, you know, needed his reaction. He cut off the call and they tried repeatedly again to reach him, but he was unavailable to respond to the conversation. So, Mr. Kanu, I see you. Would you like to, you know, chime in on this conversation?
Yes, I will. I would like to say something. What I understand about parliamentarianism is actually men and women of equals, right? I mean, everybody was elected the same way. Forget about the rules in the House, where the House will have to nominate, you know, different people at different positions. In this case, you know, having Akpabio as the Senate president, that doesn't make him any higher than Natasha. If you look at the way they set up their hierarchy in the House, yes, he's the Senate president, but Natasha is not any less a senator than him. So if we have to establish that, exactly. If we have to establish that, then you have to now look at what is happening. Because I think, for me, Godswill Akpabio would have to tread softly because he appeared to be vindictive for whatever reason. I don't know. Natasha is not the only woman that is suffering this kind of mistreatment and, should I say, injustice in the House.
Oh, wow. There are just 4 female senators.
The senator representing FCT,
Ireti Kingibe, yes.
Kingibe is also suffering in the hands of the same person. So I don't know what the problem is, whether it's because they are from different parties. Kingibe is from Labour Party.
Yes.
Of course, Natasha is from PDP. But there is another person, a woman from PDP in River State. Okay, maybe because that is Wike's area, so nobody will have to.
Wike is his friend. All right, so
then,
let me.
Yeah, so you just look at the fact that, you know, I think Akpabio is, for me, if I need to advise him, he should tread softly. He's really, really mishandling this particular issue with Natasha.
And then instantly he did announce that she will be suspended. She should be suspended and all of that. But then let's also just check quickly. Let me play this video or soundbite from the 8th Senate, so Saraki's led Senate, where a similar thing happened to Akpabio himself.
Yeah.
While he wasn't an executive member per se at the floor of the Senate. Let's take a listen to how he also reacted to it, and Saraki's reaction to it, and the fact that it didn't look like he was eventually suspended, for protestation, as it were. Take a listen.
Okay.
You can go to your seat. Then when you get your seat, I'll recognize you. Get your seat, I'll recognize you.
This is my seat.
I asked the clerk.
I sat next to Senator Kwankwaso until I was led by the sergeant at arms that this is my seat.
I asked the clerk. I asked the clerk whether he allocated that seat to you. He said he didn't.
He told me he would prefer to sit here. So I said there is no microphone there, but he said he will still prefer to sit there.
If there's been
that he was the one dictating to the clerk and the Senate president where his preferred sitting position, and from Natasha's explanation, she did not even choose. She's been diligently sitting behind at the back where she was before. So Prince Francis Chilaka, my question to you is, we have 3 other senators in the floor of the Senate. None of them could come out to say, no, this is a fellow woman whom you are doing this to. Understanding that she has also said that she's been enduring a lot of, there's no way all of them in the Senate will not know if her, whether her actions are justified or not. How come the women did not come out to at least push a cause for her?
How many women are there first?
Just 3. The 3 of them can stage a walkout.
Absolutely.
The 3 of them can stage a walkout to show their
But it's not about
solidarity.
party interest.
It doesn't matter. They can stage a walkout.
That's what I'm saying.
Solidarity.
It's about personal and party interest.
Oh wow, goodness me.
Crazy.
When
Prince
it
Francis
comes
Chilaka, go
when
ahead,
it
sir.
comes to political gatherings, the Nigerian women are timid.
So why are we asking for equality?
The only place, please calm down. The only place you see Nigerian women make noise is when they're fighting their husbands.
Why did you like this now?
When they want to fight their husbands, whether over side chick or over money, that is
no.
no.
You didn't say that on air.
I said it on air. That is when you see the Nigerian woman coming out. You will see Nigerian women will say, "We want equity. We want recognition." The same woman, a woman will come out to vie for a political post. You women will not vote yourselves in. You will vote men because you believe that Nigeria is a country for men. See, the truth of the matter is that from everything that has been playing out between Akpabio and the women, Akpabio is just one man that likes to cage women.
I think he's just a misogynist, man.
He believes that women should not speak. And that is a terrible mentality of most Nigerian men. It is really, really annoying.
All right.
So for me, whether 20 women are in the Senate or 3 women are in the Senate, first and foremost, they are all equals, like you said, and which is the truth. For the fact that you are made a Senate president is a privilege. It's not even a right. Secondly, we need to stop this idea of people who have governed their states, embezzled their state funds, going to the Senate to retire. By the time we stop these former governors from going to the Senate, things will work in this country. Because you have these governors who are unable to question the actions of the executive because they have all been part of the executive. And that is why things are going wrong in this country.
All right, so Barrister Adams, let me take you on this other conversation. We hear that a police officer, SPC Abubakar, who was demoted for extorting applicants during a nationwide recruitment exercise, has been reinstated after intervention from the Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP. This is according to an exclusive by Sahara Reporters. And there's also another exclusive, which basically from the Ronshires report document, which shows that by this, it shows that the public service rule was emphasized in a circular dated July 27, 2009 and signed by the head of service of the Federation, Stephen Oronsanya, that any officers are required to stay they cannot stay longer than the stipulated time of their appointment. Now, the interpretation of the Nigerian public service rules stipulates that career public officers, including the Inspector General of Police, must resign from their positions before taking up tenure appointment to ensure that their term runs uninterrupted. There are quite a lot of other expose in that conversation. Is it that, sorry sir, that the lawmakers, I'm not going to hold the president responsible for this, even though it was an executive bill that was pushed to the National Assembly, but is it that our National Assembly are unaware of the extant rules or the correct constitutional provisions and everything requirements for these things before they elongate they moved for the elongation of the IGP's tenure?
Well, the National Assembly, I said this before, let me not generalize. With due respect to them, I think about 95% of those people, or 99.1% of people who are in the National Assembly do not even know what they are doing there. They went in there for a jamboree. Many of them are there because of the perk of office and the importance, the paraphernalia that I'm a member of the House of Assembly, House of Reps, or Senator. But they don't even know what it entails. What Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution gives them the responsibility that you now call yourself, I'm a senator, I'm this. Many of them don't know. That is why they are fighting over seats. What is the difference between what Akpabio and this woman did and secondary school boys and girls in Agboju primary school that fight over who, this my locker, this is not your locker, they ship, you fight, Twitter come and separate them.
But Akpabio himself did the same fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because these are mundane issues. These are issues that is even beyond the spell of whatever they are doing there. So when they begin to behave like kindergarten children, as the case may be, and they are now making it pronounced, and not distracting Nigerians, and not even reducing the duties and responsibilities of what they are there for. They are not fighting for good governance. They are not fighting how to bring the price of petroleum down. They are not fighting on how to bring the price of a mudu of gari down. They are talking about seat. It happened during Saraki time. It's happening now. So the question I'm asking, what kind of National Assembly do we have? It's called Fuji House of Commotion. There's a musician that sang, said, let us dance to this my Fuji garbage. He didn't know what garbage was. Maybe he didn't understand. He said Fuji garbage. It's Fuji garbage that is taking place there.
Wait, our National Assembly.
That is the truth. Because when you bring maggot infested firewood to your compound, you expect lizards to come. So if I say that, it's my opinion. It might be harsh for them, but that is the truth of the matter. There are one or two of them who can, wriggle themselves out and go. But that is not my problem. Now look at it, like the question you asked. Are they not aware of the whatever Oronsanya and the rest of them, as the case may be, as lawmakers? Are they not aware of that? They are aware.
So why did they pass the bill?
The bill is that because they don't know what they are doing there.
Hey!
They are just there to satisfy the executive arm of government.
But that's not their duty now.
It is not the duty.
To checkmate.
I said the National Assembly and the hierarchy of those who lead them today are transactional.
Hey.
If I make this happen, what will I get? I will get an Escalade from the executive. I will get a private jet from the executive. Or I get an oil well from the executive. So it is a transactional position and very prescriptive. You understand? So that is the reason why you find that they cannot. And they have undermined, the Oronsanya panel that has 14 very important. It's a time not allow me to read them out. One of them is what has just raised its ugly head, as the case may be. The question you want to ask yourself, you want to ask right now, is that how many of the legislators even know about the Oronsanya panel report? How many have even read it? So you can even bring a law to counter the panel. They'll just pass it. So this is the problem we are having. If you have a National Assembly that does not know what they are doing, they wake up in the morning, they fight over seat. The other time they fight over money. The other time they say put prayers aside, whatever the case may be. The other time they say they are going to visit the president on Jamboree, Ramadan fast and all those things. They go and break fast and drink no and whatever and come back. Those people will not know what they are doing. And I dare say, National Assembly does not know what they are doing. I wouldn't want to use very uncharitable word because of the fact that let my emotions not, push me there. But I want to compare this 10th, National Assembly to other assembly. Can you compare the National Assembly of today to that of Joseph Wires?
Yeah.
Can you compare?
There's no room for that.
Not possible.
Can you even compare this to the Andrew Obed-led, short-term Senate? This is the question we've been asking. Can you even compare this assembly and the Senate to Saraki-led Senate? The Saraki-led Senate, we knew how they battled the executive.
Absolutely.
For the good of the Nigerian people. And the way, if you look at what happened, they had little issues within themselves, but they were united together to fight for the common good of the Nigerian masses. Even though the executive was not happy about it. That was when we even had a transparent and responsible Senate and National Assembly. And remember the times of Umar Gali Naba. These are people who put the executives on their toes. Not this kind of Obiageli kind of Senate, National Assembly that we have. You understand? This Babiala.
He says that
Obiageli, yes, that is the situation. You see, the people are just, what they are engaging in is not different from what Boris Johnson did. That he got drunk and was rolling on the floor that led to his exit from government. That is debauchery. Debauchery and lasciviousness. That is what is taking place. Unfettered, enjoyment. You have everything at your beck and call. So, hedonism, which says that you acquire power not for the good of all, but for your enjoyment, is what is happening there.
But let's go quick to the House of Representatives because, we're still talking about the National Assembly. How is it possible that quite a number of people had requested for state creation, but none of these bills for state creation met the constitutional requirement? Is it that the senators and House of Rep members and everybody who moved these bills did not know to follow the right process that would meet the constitutional requirement? Kindly help us, elaborate, because the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, exclusively said that he revealed that none of the 31 requests for state creation met constitutional requirements. Remember that we're saying that we're going to create 31 states. So why did they waste our time talking about them if in the first instance, sir, sorry, help us explain.
The Nigerian question is what has taken place. The mentality of the Nigerian people, the average Nigerians. It's just like your child coming to you to say he needs omelette, and you look and say, I'll get you omelette. The child will be asking, Daddy, omelette. You say, I'm preparing it, I'm coming. Then the child will keep complaining until he sleeps off. He will just sleep off. The father knows that, or the mother knows that there is no omelette there.
So is it denied gratification?
That is
delayed gratification.
So now we look at what happened. Politicians plan ahead of time. The Nigerian politicians look forward to the next election, not to the next generation. The Nigerian politicians look forward to their own next, manifesto they will use to hoodwink us, not on how we are going to get our daily meal to eat. So what they did, you have just 2 years. Now, they will go and whip up sentiments and say, people, we are going to create state. They use that as a tool now, as a campaign slogan that they say, we were the ones that fought. Even till today, there are those who will tell you they are the ones that fought for the creation of XYZ state. That if not for them, they would not have created state. Who told you? So when you use that to now bargain the people with the people, it now becomes a problem. That is what we are having. Ordinarily, let me tell you, there is no senator worth his salt that does not know that Section 8 of the 1999 Constitution is an impossibility. That it will take the head, Carmen said it's equal to the head of an elephant to pass through the eye of the needle than to create a state under civilian dispensation. If you look at what is there, I have said it that Section 8 has 3 pages out of 391 pages of the Nigerian constitutions. It has 3 pages explaining referendum, explaining to thought, explaining going around the house. You will read and read. Even lawyers even get confused. You understand? So they know it's not possible, but they just keep trying to play politics with it. That is why there is no civilian, dispensation apart from the creation of the Midwest states. No other civilian government has created any state in Nigeria. Only military have done that. Go through Section 8. Section 8, you have what they call referendum. That you get referendum that they have said they have denied the Biafran people that they can do referendum for the state of Biafra. But you have it in Section 8 that you have to have a referendum. People have to vote. I'm just going to conduct that. So what the man has said is that they knew none of them will meet it. Because, let me tell you, my people said that when a native doctor knows he does not have the charm to do what I have asked him to do, if he asks me to go and bring, a cock that has teeth, and say I should go and get the skull of Moses when he was 7 years old, he knows it's an impossibility. So by the time he sends you away, you begin to the man says I should go and bring this. But before you realize that this thing is not possible, he has gotten his gains. He has achieved the advantage he wanted. I have seen somebody now on his CV. You know what he wrote? I won't call his senators. They said, a man who fought and has been fighting for the creation of one of these states from this artist. CV now, that is what is on their CV. You understand? It's not even that Harvard University or the man who proposed a bill for law that will make cement come down, that he said a proponent for the creation of XYZ state, and a man who is still fighting for that has been, it's part of their CV now. Hey. So that tells you that there's a problem with the psyche of someone. Nigerians must open their eyes. Every Nigerian senator has, even the local House of Assembly people, there's provision for legal advisor for them. Are you aware? They will not come for those who advise them very well. They'll go and go for boju lawyers who advise them and say, go ahead. You can create the state. So the man has just spoken the truth, and the truth has dawned on all of us. So this is the problem now. So why did they even embark on that? So this is the situation we find ourselves. So we don't need to go further. If time allows, I will let me not even begin to go into that Section 8. On you, first of all, you have to, when you create state, you must do boundary adjustment also. You have to do boundary adjustment. Because if you create a state out of Lagos State, that there must be a division in the map of Nigeria. Lagos State is like this. So if you are creating another state out of it, they must come and adjust boundary again. Then not curve another one, curve it. So all the atlas we are using in all our primary school will change. Because the position of the states have changed. So it's a very difficult thing.
So they know, and they were pushing for
I said they know.
wasting our time and resources and energy because we're paying them for the sittings.
They know all these things.
Hey.
The only thing they don't play with is their allowances. They don't play with that. And when they are doing that, they don't shift chairs, they don't drag chairs. Everybody take their own home and begin to enjoy. Nobody here, we can't hear all those smiles.
All right, so Nigerians, before we open the phone lines, let's quickly let you know that your presidential spokesperson, Sunday Diary, said that I should tell you people that because that inflation has come down does not mean that people should expect that the prices of food in the market will come down. Why people like this now? You not finished listening.
Precious.
Okay, but me, I know.
Precious.
I'm coming.
It's like
sir.
this night. You don't.
Let me finish. It is Sunday that said it is.
It's Sunday Dare in Nigerian.
Wait, now I'm coming. Let me finish reading it. Let me finish reading it. He said that food prices may never return to what they used to be before subsidy removal, suggesting Nigerians should not expect food prices to return to what it used to be before. In fact, let me quote him. He says, yes, prices are not back to pre-subsidy removal regime. They probably may never be. But prices of foodstuffs and other services are dropping across board. Multiple independent market surveys have confirmed this development. Now, he's reacting to about the 2-digit drop in inflation recently. They say inflation dropped from 3.8% to about 28.8% to 24.7%, by 10.3%. So I don't know if inflation has dropped by 10%. I'd like to educate Nigerians about inflation. If this were to be true, it would mean that a bulb of onion you used to buy 100 naira will now be 80 naira. Sorry, 90 naira. Right? So if you bought 10 of that onion for 1,000 naira, that means you now buy that 10 now for 800 naira. For 900 naira. That's the mathematics now. Just a simple breakdown for Nigerians to understand. However, Nigerians are rather lamenting that prices have continuously soared, even when they say inflation is down. And then this is his reaction, that don't expect things to come down beyond subsidy removal. Would you just chime in quickly?
Okay, so there is I feel a bit upset. When you listen to certain people. I don't know why this government decided to adopt the method of explaining everything off. I mean, even the things that are not explainable, right? I mean, if you talk about inflation reduction, there's no way that huge amount of percentage in inflation, up to 10%, would drop, okay, from 34-point-something% to 24-point-something%, and it will not reflect on everyday goods. So is it that they are dealing with the theoretical part of, okay, which they can manipulate, but if it doesn't translate to practical reality of pricing of goods, then it's all a voodoo. Just all a voodoo.
All right, thank you. Barrister Francis and
why are you cooling down your voice to talk? Why are you? The likes of what is this Sunday Diary? These are people who are feeding off government, and they don't understand what is happening in the open market. You recall that NBS released a report talking about two things. The first of all talked about how much was being taken in by police and armies and all of that. You recall?
Yes.
They also talked about the fact that things were no longer as good as they were. And what happened there after those reports came out? They said that their website was hacked. And after the hacking or glitch on their website, I think one of those reports disappeared. And then they came back. And we also heard of purported arrest by DSS of this, that.
Calling for questioning. Wasn't arrest.
Okay. Calling for questioning. Now, after the questioning, MBS, they get them small injection. And that injection is always, let us see what you want to put out. How can the National Bureau of Statistics open their eyes, their minds, and come out to lie to Nigerians that inflation has dropped by 10%? Or by 10, whatever it is they wanted to use. How can they do that? Yesterday, I went to price spaghetti. Spaghetti is now going for 1,200.
Hey.
Not in the supermarket, though. In the open market.
A supermarket will be higher.
A loaf of bread is still at 1,300, 1,500.
And then how did things come down? Okay, maybe
petrol,
there were other things that came down.
Petrol is still 945, 960, 980.
A loaf of bread is how much?
1,315.
Where?
You won't go back.
I'm not going to call
Because
them.
Do you want to enter into? Do you want to go into bread business?
on the island, the least to buy is 2,000, 2005.
I'll tell
Will you be supplying for him?
Sure,
You can supply. You can go into bread business and supply.
But the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
Few days back, I was at the pharmacy to buy drugs, and I looked like a very stupid person. When I touched the drug and I was told the price, and I thought the guy was joking, I said, "Please, can you cross-check?" And the guy asked, "Guy, if you don't want to buy, maybe you go." It was that bad. Now, I wanted a particular brand of drug, and the lady there told me, said, "You have to deposit that this drug is so and mouth. But you have to deposit to show that you are ready to buy it. Then you come back the next day to pick it up." Now, tell me, with all of this, what is dropping? Where is the relief for the Nigerian people? Where is the relief? Is it foodstuff? You can't even find the foodstuffs to buy anymore. Because, as we know, I keep saying it, the whole of 2024, the harvest was minimal. What was harvested in 2024 will soon run out. That is, like I keep saying, hunger never enter Nigerians' body.
No, God forbid. Let's open.
When that hunger enter Nigerians' body, people like Sunday Dare no go talk for public.
All right, Lagos, Nigeria. Phone lines are open. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions on the conversations we've had tonight. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. You can call our alternative line on 0803 692 9933. 0803 692 9933. Then the WhatsApp line is also available for you to call. It is 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, pressure.
Sir Joval, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening and welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to Mr. Kenobi.
Hey, my bro. Good evening. Welcome.
Let me greet the Prince. The Prince Chilaka. Good evening, sir.
My brother,
Let me greet Barrister Adams.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, today I'm so happy that I have to greet the producer. I promise I greet you wherever you are listening to
hear
me.
you, eh?
Precious, which
Sir?
one they God forbid now? What is God forbid? What is God forbid? Priscilla can say hunger never catch Nigerians. Say God forbid.
I not be Nigerian. I not be Nigerian. What made the hunger catch me?
You know that in this show I used to give you the market breakdown.
I better not give me again. It affects my mental health.
But I stopped it. But this Sunday, Dare is provoking me now to give you the latest in the market. Precious. People should know, I don't know. Is it not this same Sunday Dare? His name is coming up too much, and it's like you want us to be facing him and be talking to him now. If he's not a Nigerian, he should learn to be a Nigerian. Precious. How can he say, even if CBN is telling us that what is it called? Inflation rate is dropping with 1 naira. They are telling Nigerians that is to say that you are not even working in tandem with the government. So we should continue to suffer now. Like what Prince Chilaka is telling you is the reality. Spaghetti that Prince Chilaka is talking about now is not the main one that will not melt when you cook it. You know, they are of different categories, Precious. There are some that when you finish cooking them, they will be like Gary. There are some that will still,
it will be like Agidi.
Those ones that will stay, that you will enjoy as part, or pasta rather, is over 1,500. Prince Chilaka just mentioned that a loaf of bread is 1 thing. And Mr. Kenobi is challenging that. Is it true too? I just bought one now, Precious. Family loaf is 2,000 naira. 2,000. What are we talking about? How can you make a pot of soup with 20 and he's telling us that we should not expect things?
You make a pot of soup with how much?
20,000, Precious.
Including meat. Just calm down. Calm down. You know, I'm from Niger Delta and I'm particular about soups because we have different soups. Barrister Adams, please tell them you married the River State.
I know.
And tell them what we can do about soup in River State. So for our now, I want to know something. Not vex, for a pot of soup for family before a single person. And then how many days will that pot of soup last if it's going to be 20,000?
this 20,000 naira soup, precious, is today and tomorrow is finished.
If you manage that one,
We don't
because
hear
if
you.
na soup wey go last 1 week, I'm sorry for you, 20,000 no go fit cut am.
But who they cook soup go last 1 week now?
Sir,
Precious,
sir.
when did I eat fisherman soup last?
Hell!
Not the soup that will last 1 week.
Imagine.
With which light?
If to say life good now, as a core river suman, I for say may you come make a dash you 1 plate of fisherman soup. But unfortunately, I am not in my state. Ngwa bye bye.
Mr. Sunday Dare will not give us light. These people should be careful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, let me quickly take this announcement. May I have your attention, please, to this announcement? This is to inform interested persons who want to know more about getting unlimited data to stream your YouTube on your smart TV for as low as 6,000 naira for a month. Also, come and know more about digital assets and that can turn your time, business, and life into steady, instant money-making venture from Gather Chat. So what are you waiting for? Hurry now and grab this opportunity by texting Book Me on WhatsApp alone to 0803 750 5737. Text Book Me on WhatsApp to 0803 750 training from Gather Chat. This is holding this Saturday, 22nd February 2025. That's tomorrow at number 3 Okwebi Road, Sweet Sensation Building, Ikeja, Lagos by 1 p.m. Just text Book Me to 0803 750 5737 now. 0803 750 5737. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, going back to your phone calls. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, please, you're welcome. Go ahead, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ebube calling from Moshodi.
You will be welcome. Go ahead.
You're blessed. Precious,
Sir?
you see, let me tell you something. Concerning Akpabio and Natasha. Akpabio is a disgrace to this country.
On national radio, sir.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm sorry to use that language.
Okay, it's good you're sorry.
The man, he has disgraced himself in a way that no one has respect for him anymore. Somebody who is supposed to be protecting people, but look at what he's doing. How do you want people to take him? He has destroyed the Senate. They don't have respect anymore.
All right, thank you.
Think of is what they will eat, what they will make. They don't care about people they're supposed to take care of.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's your opinion. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening and welcome. Apologies for keeping on hold. Good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name, sir?
My name is Siwe.
Right.
I just want to mention the National Assembly Oga Gospel Akpabio. How did he get in there? No, number one, because he never contested for what do you call it? Primary, and the Supreme Court put him there. Is the Supreme Court part of the problem in Nigeria? And then number two, I just want to find out when you say choice of things, maybe by default, it is very, very important that we don't eat our future. Because things, anyway, let me not go there. I rest my case.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Hello. Good evening and welcome.
Hello, Sister Precious.
Sir?
I greet you and the prince.
Oh, Koboko. Koboko.
God bless them.
Amen.
God bless them.
Amen.
I dey watch my credit.
Oh,
Help
okay.
me. Greet Natasha. You hear me?
Okay, sir.
As God will save her from the claws and grip of the other former governor of Kogi, 2019. She will survive the claws and grip of Akpabio. But I take the responsibility of June 12th. On the 23rd of June 1993, Babangida annulled election. And he's telling us here, Abacha. Who sent Abacha to audition army in Muchi, Rekare, Oshodi, in Lagos? saying is all of them are under Dangote group. Concerning Nnamdi Kanu have right in United Nations Charter for agitation. Is that following me?
They follow you, sir.
Nnamdi Kanu saying it because he opened the secret and the secretization of civilization. That's why he's implementing that concept. I want to help me. Tell Mr. Prince to call people that nothing should happen to Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, sir. Prince, don't hear, sir.
Concerning the thing where they say things don't come down first, only the thing will come down is on yours. Why they buy 4 before, but when I buy a 6 for 500 naira.
Okay.
So yes,
the size no change, Abi.
They can tell us the market.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. I never talk for you. Remember 2 minutes.
No, you don't. You remember 10 seconds.
Actually, in conclusion, what I want to tell you to say, not be everything Prince and Joraba will remember. It was because of some money when give Babangida give Abiola give his wife give Kola. That is why Babangida are not the election.
Oh yeah, sorry. Come and be going. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello, good evening and welcome. Are you there? Hello? Oh dear, I lost you. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
I greet you. My name is Shola. I greet your guest.
Shola, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Great you as well.
Good evening.
Different revolution of Koboko. In fact, at the end, I don't have some thought where I did. See, we need such comic relief, I'm telling you, even coming from somebody like Koboko, to ease the tension and to even calm down the anger that I have towards this country and we as a people. Look at the show of shame yesterday, for God's sake. In a very same, not even a very same, in the same crime, somebody like IBB will not come out. And the same set of people, the problems of Nigeria gathered in a place. That is the way I look at it. The problems of Nigeria from time past, they all gathered in a place and they were clapping. See, I'm not somebody that is pessimistic. I'm always realistic. But let us tell ourselves the truth. With the present bunch of people and the followership, there's no hope for Nigeria. I'm telling you. See, I am not precious. You might say, God forbid now. Even the Bible says, faith without works is dead. What are we doing to repair this country? All the leaders that we have, even to the present one, look at all the antecedents. The present one. And the thing is that he who must come to equity must come with clean hands. So what are they fighting against? Can they fight against the ills of the society when they are the problem of the country? And to add to the sort upon injury is the followership. My person, let my person take care. All these kind of things is leading us nowhere, for God's sake. I don't have anything to say more than that.
Sorry.
Let's be realistic.
All right.
Let's be realistic.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello, are you there? Hello?
Gentlemen in the house.
Welcome, sir. You're what?
I really enjoyed the discussion, especially the mind there.
Your line is bad, sir. Apologies. You can try to call us back. The line is really bad. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, Madam Precious and the others speaker. May God bless you, people.
Bless you.
Welcome.
Yes, Madam Precious, this is Evangelist Chijoke, man with vision.
Go ahead, sir.
Actually, the truth is that, in fact, Nigeria, I don't know who do Nigeria this kind of thing. I don't know who do Nigeria this kind of thing. Why is it that this country want every day one problem or the other? When you go to the Senate president, go see him, and you go to his brother and sister in the Senate, even in our what they call it, judiciary today, it's just like maybe, should I say maybe, they have robbed our constitution, poto. So it's not good at all. What is happening in our constitution today? It's just like Nigeria constitution is messed up. Look at what is happening. If it is our other country, all these things will be happening. Look at how the Senate, they are just disgracing themselves. They are disgracing Nigerians. Just like Nigeria does not have constitution any longer. And we the common man, we Nigerian citizens, we are just watching, looking at what are these old men are doing. So please, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. Everything is still where it is in Nigeria today because why? We are not ready to rise up. Okay, look at where the former head of state. He said that it is true that Abiola won the elections. If Abiola won the election, why can't they decide to call the family member and to give him the power and to give them the power of the father? So please, that man will perish.
No, Oga, Abba. Don't do that now. All right, let me go back to messages. Whether Nadia Goody saves more. Precious, we actually need competent people in the Senate House, not people with selfish interest or self-centered personalities and rubber stamp senators. Precious, we are tired of all of them joined together. They never for a day deliberated about what would be in the interest of all Nigerians. Precious, those people need deliverance, I swear. What's happen? Yay. I'll just be picking messages randomly because I have lots of messages. Good evening, Precious Prince, Francis Wilaka, Mr. Kenobi, and Barrister Adams, and VOP family generally. NBS can't be an exception. Every government agency is now aligned with the propaganda agenda of their followers, and their followers are buying those reports. Barrister Adams, this Obiageri political era is where highest issue lies. Or Lady P, please interpret Obiageri to tell all listeners, may God save our land. Good family, good day family. This is Amici from Afoluka Proceed. Mr. Kene, would you like to interpret what Obiageri means to us?
Obiageri is the person who come chop, no?
Okay, so now to come chop politicians.
Come chop politicians.
Hey, all right. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh dear, I think I lost you. Okay, let me take more messages here or more calls too. Hello, good evening. Oh no, turn it off, please. Can you please? Oh no, when you call me, please ensure you turn off the volume of your radio set. And this is Prepare and Co. I agree to. This is Lecturer James. I'm extremely disappointed by Oga Akpabio's display of primitiveness and expression of lacuna of commonest sense at his level. Because he be lecturer, be. I make you want to send us go inside book. Question mark on a country which Senate President's intelligence capacity is close to 0% approximately. Hey! Sunday Diary just used metaphor to tell us that. Wait, I won't read that in what you talk. He says Sunday Diary just used metaphor to tell us that na irony na in the talk. He say na lie, then they lie to us. Say inflation don't come down, no. He say they lie to us. So he just used metaphor to tell us like that. Okay, so this here says, can I get a radio app link? Unfortunately, I don't have one here. And then this here says, good evening, Precious, and my able guest in the studio. Bread in my area is 2K. Nothing is going down, but the truth is that farmers didn't even plant this season. So hunger will be higher later this year than ever before. This is Chris from Ejibo that sent in this message.
But that is the truth.
Our leaders are operating as if Nigerians don't have sense. Nigerians must arise and take up this country before it slips off our hands.
Precious, please. It's not that Nigerians don't have sense. Nigerians, the government has used weaponized poverty to hold the people down.
So our mouth is also weaponized?
Everything about you is weaponized. Now, they have used poverty to hold the people down. So what the government is doing, the government is conscious of what they are doing. They are conscious of the fact that they know there is hunger in the land. So they are making sure that there is no food. And the end effect of that is the fact that at the end of the day, they will now say, election is here. Their usual 1 cup of rice, 1 tin tomato, 2 balls of onions with 5,000 naira. You mortgage your conscience. Nigerians, make una wake up. Make una wake up.
Okay. All right, Precious. Good evening. Good evening, my people in the studio. Let's go to Akpabio's home. How does he relate or behave with his wife or female children? And how does he go to the National Assembly? Talk less of getting Senate. There were things that were flying over the social media today. A particular lady was berating Natasha and demanding that Natasha apologizes to Akpabio. And there were comments under that particular lady's post that they were Or let me not say it on national radio. Hello, good evening. You can go over social media and get to see that yourself. DSS is answerable to the president. The president refused to obey the court judgment on releasing Nnamdi Kanu, but Igboho was quickly released in 25 budget. No single capital project in the entire southeast. Easterners should tell Trump to intervene. Trump care. Additionally, state creation is not necessary in other words. What is the right way, Barrister Adams, for Southeasterners and Southerners who were excluded from major capital projects in the 2025 budget to react? Because there's a lot of complaint. I think there's a major rail project that is even supposed to go through from the south to the north, but southeast, south was cordoned off that project. I'd like to take a reaction, sir.
Well,
because sorry, sir, let me quickly state the project is aimed at creating a rail transportation connecting the major cities in Nigeria. So how do we connect major cities and leave out the south and southeast from
it's a deliberate ploy to foist on the regions that are affected more misery. Otherwise, under Section 16, Section 15, even Section 14, Sub 3, the 1999 Constitution, and some other sections of the Constitution talks about equitable distribution. If you are developing, it has to be all round.
So let me quickly add up to this question. How is it that we have House of Representative members from the Southeast and South?
That's what I wanted to ask.
And they were the ones that, spearheaded the passing of this 2025 budget. How come they did not properly scrutinize the budget that they are passing?
We don't, if you've witnessed, deliberations of the national, even state houses of assemblies, they don't scrutinize nothing.
They
only bring budget and say, this is the appropriation bill of 2 trillion, whatever. They give them to take home, true and sad. Say go and go through. Many of them will drop it and will go and begin to enjoy themselves. Then when they come back, they say, let's vote on this. They just say, yay or aye. Many of them don't even know what they are doing. I said this before. Because some of the documents, you are supposed to, when you use the word scrutinize, it means perusal. You have to really go through page by page. And many of them do not do that. The only person I saw recently did a thing like that was Adams Oshomole, who page by page was analyzing what he saw, the advantages and disadvantages. And Nigerians did not even give him any chance. Even at the Senate, he was being gagged down, being shouted down, please, the time is going. What are all these things? You understand?
Barrister.
It's sad.
Barrister.
Yes.
When we all sit here and we say the federal government is not bringing development to the southeast or to the south, I want to differ completely. And when I say I want to differ from the standpoint of charity begins at home. I've said it here severally. We do not need more than 2 airports in the southeast. We do not need more than 2. Why is it that the governors of the southeast, why have they not seen the need to come together to even create a train network amongst them? How much will it cost each of the state governors to run a train network? We say we run from Imo to Abia. Maybe we'll go through Aba or we'll go through Maya. And then the governor of Abia runs it from his own to Ikotekpene and then the governor of Akwa Ibom takes it up from there. Why? Why is it that our governors, our leaders in the south and southeast are acting as if they have no sense of reasoning? Why? Now, taking it back to the Senate you talked about. Precious,
sir?
Who is your representative in the Senate?
We don't know.
Do you know the person? Who is your representative in the House of Rep? Each time you see them put televised activities of the Senate, how many senators from the Southeast
we even contribute
or South have you seen contributing? How many? Are we not ashamed? Is it not high time that the Igbos and the other tribes within that region hide our faces in shame? What kind of leaders do we have in the Southeast? What kind of leaders do we have in the South? Your minister for works is from where? What is he doing to add value to his own constituency? So these are things we should look at. Let us begin to hold our people at home hostage, hold them accountable. Because this federal government we see do not look and act like one that has any plans for the Southeast and South. Right. Let our governors, I beg our governors in the South and in the Southeast, please, I beg you people, go and resurrect the spirit of late Sam Mbakwe. Because that is the only spirit that will make them walk.
Even Jim Wobodo and all those old governors of that time, that era, they were very, very wonderful people.
All right, going back to the phone lines, 0700 903 903 903. I take some more messages. Gabriel here says, what happens to MK is what happens to Obi, but Obi used wisdom. Igbo is not Nigeria, but if they are, why remove them from student loan? Oh, by the way, that student loan bill, that student loan projects last year, most Southeastern universities were also omitted from schools that were eligible from the project at that, at that time. And these are part of the complaints that many are making. Okay. A few more messages here. His Royal Highness Peace Walker says, IBB's confession is no longer needed, irrelevant, and medicine after death. It's only fear of death that can bring out this truth. And for Akpabio and women, he should watch his back and be careful how he treats women. I stand with Senator Natasha. That's what you said. And good afternoon, Precious. Please, do Nigerians have constitution? If they do, I want to see what is going to happen to IBB on his confession. Ching Bong from Chicago University said, I don't understand you. Okay, this year says, good evening, Precious and able men in the studio. Precious, if IBB is not tried and convicted, we owe Adamawa Rick that is sacked, who call result of election that he likes, that has not finished. We owe him an apology, Abi. Nigerians owe him an apology. Okay. This here says, the incident between the Senate President Akpabio and Natasha Udwan has revealed the issues of power drunkenness, sexism, and leadership failure in Nigerian politics. I salute Natasha for standing up for herself and refusing to be intimidated by Akpabio. Akpabio should therefore be made to resign. Be resigned for his domineering power. Wishful thinking, brother. Alex Solomon. Sorry, I had to say wishful thinking. It really is. Madam Precious, I agree to you. And honestly, sometimes I wonder if Nigeria is a country that wants to progress. How can Babangida, that contributed to the quagmire we are experiencing, now be hailed because he launched a book? Oh, you said a lot of things, but let me just rest that case there because he raised some very salient points. Just imagine how these vultures were clapping for corrupt dictator like Babangida. Hey, Precious. Okay, you didn't put your name, but let's just leave it there. Oma Egbu sent in that message. And then this says, Precious, to be sincere with you, I'm annoyed this night. Talk every time is enough. With all the things that barrister has said about Nnamdi Kanu's case, can't the barrister and his colleagues sue the federal government? Said so. The barrister should sue the federal government.
I will sue the federal government because of
Phil from Okota says, Precious, please, do you listen to your lawyer guest, Adam, making brilliant and coherent judicial references, both in the Constitution and points of law? His presentation is educative, informative, and pleasantly admired by me. Well done, sir. My messages are too much. Where do I even go from here? Let me go back to my phone lines. Hello, good evening and welcome. Oh dear, have I lost you? Hello, are you there? Okay, going back to more. Oh goodness, more messages. My message box is absolutely full. Well, this year says, good evening, precious and special guests. Greetings. I want to talk about former head of state IBB launching a book. Even I was 15 years old in 1993 and June 12. We all know Abiola won the election. 32 years, he suddenly know Abiola won. Oh, you lamented though. Precious, if Abacha is alive, he will be an elder statesman now. We are not ready. Ife from Ira was saying that. God's will should not have been in the Senate. He did not contest for primary. That's what you said. But Mr. Kine, you remember what happened to him and Lawal and how they got into power back. Even their colleague Rocha Sokorocha had to ask for expo on how they got into the house without contesting for primary. So
so you should show him the way next time.
And this is how we just be living our life in democracy, sir.
It's sad, though.
Hey, boy. Okay. All right. Say, please pick your call. I did not even see your call there. There's so many calls coming in. Okay. My name is Iboro Austin. My take is on the issue of state creation and National Assembly not making enough contribution to benefit the people of Nigeria. Is because many of them are not influential. And if you are not influential, you cannot contribute in any gathering in our nation. Many of them are making efforts, but their efforts are being destroyed, just as you can see that was Senator O'Donnell. So that could be true that some of our people are making efforts to better us, but their effort is being truncated. It was IBB himself that gave a national broadcast to annul the June 12 election. Why is he now pushing the blame to Abacha Bikono? Is it because he is not there anymore to answer for himself? Now, wow. Bolaji from Itele, Ota, Ogun State. You had quite a lot to say, but I'd rather rest my case there. Which message did you say I should read now? Obiugo says, good evening, Prepare, and Ubiego. He says, I hope you understand this grammatical logarithms, not be algorithms, and logarithms. So concerning IBB Prepare, I know that Nigeria rewards evil people than good people. In Nigeria, as far as this matter concerned, IBB is supposed to be arrested immediately. Barris Adams, do you agree that Nigeria rewards more of bad people than good people?
Yes, I agree with him.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. The politicians in the Southeast and South are in Senate House of Rep. Are just there for campaigning for coming elections and not to fight for their regions. They are selfish. Chinemere from Agbara sent in that message. All right, let's see if we can go back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening and welcome. No, please, when you call me, just kindly turn up the volume of your radio set, please. All right, unfortunately, I have to let you go. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, you're welcome, so go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Is what? You're welcome, go ahead.
Thank you. I agree with you. Sorry, stand down.
Great. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Welcome.
You know, the issue of Senate President is women. Not his fault, anyway. I pray for him because right from the Bible days, you know that the people we call great men in the world are easily brought down by women. So, Abiola may declare he has been an uncommon governor, uncommon minister, uncommon Senate President. And he should watch himself. Let people not bring him down. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening and welcome. Oh dear. Hello.
Hello.
Please turn off the volume of your radio set, sir. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Yes, welcome, sir.
Good evening. My people, the three wise men, I greet you people.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
You
Good
people
evening.
have spoken the mind of Nigerians. God
Thank
bless
you,
you
sir.
all.
Thank you.
I have nothing to say this night because you just please you have said it all. All is that God will continue to watch you people and
Amen. Thank
Amen.
you.
Thank you.
continue speaking the truth. The Bible says you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. Continue speaking the truth, my people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you all.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Appreciate you. Good night. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello.
Yes, welcome, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chippy.
Can you help me turn off that background noise, please? Go ahead.
No, that's not. That's not on background.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's
we don't have much time. Kindly help me hurry.
Please, what I want to say is that based on what the president was saying, if he trying to stick that lady, they should probe him or suspend him or her. They are all elected. They have the same right. He has right to speak. He has no right to caution her or to tell her to sit down. All of them are elected. They are there to talk. He is a moderator. So this is what I want to chip in.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening and welcome. Oh dear. Hello. All right. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh dear. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Precious.
Remy without Martins. Good evening and welcome.
God bless you. God bless you, and kudos to all of your analysts. Well,
Thank
Precious,
you. Sir?
Thanks.
if you say I go study law tomorrow, you have to hold the lawyer and you're still responsible.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just making me feeling tasty for that thing. Anyway, the good thing about you VOP guys, you are blessed with ridiculously smart people. So, well done.
Thank you, man.
Now, Precious, I want to say, I was trying to do shopping for books. I want to read for next quarter. And this thing just came up with IBB book. I was like, me, make I take my money, buy a book? I won't. Anyway, if I find a hard copy, I wouldn't mind to read. Now, for me, I think I'm worried, and I'm worried more for much younger generation. You know why?
Why?
When we see people who have done us dirty this way, and you find prominent name, people who have held high office at one point in time, gathering, telling us about how good this person has been, that worries me. Oftentimes when we speak, they will say, forget about morality. Morality is the bedrock of every society. If we abandon morality, let's abandon religion then. Let's abandon decency. Let's abandon law and order. That's exactly what you're talking about. Because the legal framework were designed on moral ground, how to be well behaved, how to ensure that the powerful do not suppress the weak. And the job of every society is for the strong to look after the weak. But in Nigeria, reverse is the other. It is the poor that pay for the welfare of the rich in Nigeria. So that it pains me. Now, look, you follow American politics, and you know Donald Trump enjoy protection from any Republican. The other day, when he called President Zelensky a dictator, his co-loyalists stood up at the Senate and said, no, he's not a terrorist. Putin is the terrorist, is the dictator. Who is standing up for Nigeria in the wide scheme of things? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Remy. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh dear, I lost that. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, Madam Precious.
Good evening, lady with a beautiful voice from Ejigboabi Solo, right?
But yes, you got it right this time.
Go ahead.
So my greetings to the three wise men in the studio as well.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Okay, what I want to say is that the information that General Ibrahim came to give Nigerians, I don't think we need it. We don't need it. But I believe that the reason he's coming out to say this is because he could perceive death. They are close to their graves, and they are trying to confess their sins, but it will not reduce their punishment with God. And then secondly, I want to use this very opportunity to appeal to Nigerians. Now that we are still eating twice, or well, for the very rich ones, 3 times in a day, let us come together and say enough is enough. Because like from all indications, all they are trying to do is to incapacitate the people so that it will get to a point when nobody can even say a thing. with the way it's going, people usually say, how did we get here? How did we get here? A time will come where you may not even be able to call into radio programs like we're doing now to even hear your mind. So I am appealing to all Nigerians now that we can still feed, that we still have strength to talk. Like Mr. Remy now, people are shopping for food, he's shopping for books, he's in a good place. So now that we still have strength left in us, let us come together and quit all these complaints. Let us come together. If they want to wipe everyone out at a go, let them do it. But let us come together now that we still have strength left in us to do so. Good night.
Thank you so much. Good night to you too. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me go and visit YouTube. But before YouTube people will swear for my village people, because sometimes they used to vex for me very well. So where do I begin from YouTube now? Livingstone says, sadly, the supposed National Assembly is truly a excuse for content creation and social media. Abba. How can you be so unkind, brother? Be nice to our National Assembly members. Joseph Ibiuke says, Oga, we are talking about federal budget here. First, condemn the injustice. And they are after their pockets. User says, South is getting a railroad via the Lagos Calabar Cross. The one that has been suspended, the coastal highway. That I don't know. Abi Barrister, has he been? I thought he was in contention. The Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. Abi is no longer in contention.
I don't know. These people are just making us get confused on a daily basis.
All right. Kenezike says we generally don't respect women we generally don't respect women. Akpabio. No consequences in Nigeria. Annulled election for no reason. Why would someone pay for IBB's book in the first place? Ambassador Daniel says, my problem with this Akpabio is that he talks anyhow. I remember the once told Senator Natasha in was, this is not a nightclub. How can a Senate president speak in such a manner? And she said that it was from that incident that her travail started. And she's been maligned and, all sorts. And until Ella says, as for God's will, Akpabio, his arrogance goes before him. And Lindsay Khan says, Sunday Dari and Akpabio just made the list of visa ban and restrictions. Maybe they may be invited. That's what you said. Okay, let's just see if we can visit a few more calls and then I get back. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
Sir, welcome, sir. Is that Mr. Ola?
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir.
Are you on a step down or
I am not doing step down today. I have 3 hefty men. There's no time to step down.
Oh, okay. Okay, I greet you. I greet Chief Shilaka and my good people.
I greet you.
Welcome. Good evening.
Okay, I sent my message. I don't know if you read it or not. Let me say something about Babangida. If you are in a country, we ask questions. Babangida should be stoned in that room. He should be stoned in that room because 1993 election, I nearly lost my life that time in Yanopaja when we are protesting. Why is he confessing now? Why not say all this before Abacha was died? Why is he saying it now? Anyway, I don't know if you read my message about Natasha. I said we should go to Akpabio's house or home to ask how is he related to his wife or the children or the female children. How does he go to that house? How does he elected as a Senate president? Let's ask all those questions. Thank you, Precious.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you, sir. You too. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, you're welcome.
And good evening to everybody in the house.
They can hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. My name is Chike. I'm calling from Apapa.
Chike, go ahead, please.
Yes. I just want to remind you something precious about Akpabio. Yes, Akpabio is a man that has problem with women.
Hey.
I will tell you the reason why I say that. I don't call here sometimes and say that having any encounter with. I was a very close former governor to, and the person was a close friend to Akpabio. He's a former governor of my state. That time I happened to be a cameraman. One thing I understand about Akpabio is that Akpabio has, he don't have control of his mouth sometimes. And he has this character of cracking expensive joke, especially to women. If you go and ask that Natasha, what was the first encounter with Akpabio, second encounter, and the third encounter? It might be that maybe Akpabio throw one kind, expensive joke to the woman outside the house, and the woman frowned at it. Akpabio will not have in mind that, don't worry, when we get inside, I will show you. That is the kind of person Akpabio is.
All right, thank you for this revelation.
So if Natasha will recall when she encountered Akpabio for the first and second time, then the problem will solve.
What is your name again, brother? What is your name again?
What did you say?
What is your name? You didn't tell me your name when you started, did you?
My name is calling from my papa.
Your name is what?
I think Chike.
Chike.
Yes.
Okay, the network keeps interfering. I beg, which state you from again? Remind us.
Hello?
What state are you from?
Okay, I'm from the state.
You're from where?
Your voice is cracking. Anyway.
I said, what state? He was a very good friend to you. Okay, I just wanted to put two and two together. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So let's start getting your final parting shot. I have loads of messages. There will be no time for me to read them. Nigerians will bury me today because my message box is practically full. And YouTube, I've not even done justice to them. But our time is already fast spent. Mr. Kenobi, please.
Well, I mean, we'll keep saying what we think we need to say. I just wish we'll get to that level where we will begin to adopt the principle of poetic justice, where we punish bad behavior and reward good behavior. I think if we get to that, then we would forge a path to a good country that we all wish to have. But until then, we just have to, keep at what need to be done to get to where we want to be.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Prince Mrs. Chilaka, sir.
Those that are elected to lead should understand that leadership means service to people. And unfortunately, our leaders do not know that. Our leaders pretend not to know. Our leaders act as if they're ignorant of what leadership is all about. If our leaders can be sincere for once and put this country before every other thing, Nigeria will be a better place to live in.
Thank you, Prince. Barrister Adams, sir.
Like I always say, Nigeria need leaders that are not in love with money, but in love with justice. Leaders that are not in love with publicity, like Akpabio and Natasha doing, but are in love with helping humanity. Publicity could be negative or positive. Look at the viral, whatever this has generated, just pushing up chairs here and there. But the issues of price reduction, hunger and starvation does not get this kind of attention in the Senate. It's sad. So please, Nigeria is a place where I wake up most times in the morning. I look up to my neighbor and I ask, how are you doing today? Tell me. If he says good, I'll hug him. Nigerians, we are hungry. We are starving. Very few have senators who are fighting over seat numbers and pushing of chairs. If they behave like that, people in their 40s, 50s, what do you expect of primary school kids around? So the Senate is not being a good teacher of morals to our kids and even to society and politics. It's sad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's the size of our package this evening. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you to you, gentlemen. I appreciate your presence and making our time to come educate Nigerians. And I keep saying, and I would say it again, that I do hope that with continuous efforts and our contributions would one day get and achieve that Nigeria of our dream. But till then, we cannot rest. We must continue to speak and contribute in any way that we can. My name is Precious Inyi. I love you guys already now. You don't want any question, but ensure you protect your mental health, because I need your mental health to listen to these conversations that we have. So I'll see you again on Monday, God willing. I love you guys. Good night.